Welcome to the Explainer. So, you've spent countless hours binge-watching coding tutorials, right? But the second you open a blank text editor, total paralysis. Well, you're absolutely in the right place. Today, we are breaking down the ultimate 90-day roadmap to transform you from a beginner, or just someone trapped in an endless cycle of passive learning, into a highly capable, job-ready developer. And we aren't doing this by watching more videos. We're going to build a fully functional real estate AI software as a service completely from scratch. All right, let's dive into this.
Look, there's a brutal truth we gotta face right out of the gate. Tutorials, they're safe. They literally hold your hand, but they give you this completely false sense of security. Watching someone else code is exactly like watching someone else lift weights. It is not gonna make you any stronger. Passive watching will never make you an engineer. Active engineering, specifically rebuilding projects without a safety net, is absolutely the only way to forge real skills.
So here's our map for this quest. We're breaking this overwhelming journey into 6 distinct phases. We've got the 90-day mission. Month 1, solid foundation. Month 2, the AI project build. Month 3, front-end and deployment. Mastery and interview prep. And finally, the job-ready developer.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the 90-day mission and the rules of the quest.
Now, this roadmap isn't some magic get-rich-quick scheme. It is a boot camp you are running for yourself, and the discipline it demands is intense. To actually master a core tech stack and get an AI project in your portfolio, you need a grueling but necessary routine. Weekdays, you're doing 2 hours of learning new concepts, 2 solid hours of typing actual code, and 1 crucial hour dedicated purely to debugging. And the weekends? Well, that's when the real heavy lifting happens with 6 hours of pure project building. If you want out of tutorial hell, this daily schedule is your literal ticket. It's hard work for sure, but this exact structure guarantees success.
Moving right into Section 2, Month 1, Solid Foundation, or Acquiring Your Tools.
This is Level 1. We are rapidly acquiring the core programming weapons you need for the big build. The timeline is aggressive, but hey, totally doable. Week 1 is all about the data. Nailing down SQL and relational database basics. You've got to know how to store and query data with your basic CRUD operations. Week 2, you're building the logic engine with Python fundamentals. Then Week 3, you level up to object-oriented programming. Think classes, inheritance, the whole shebang for writing clean, modular code. And wrapping up the month, Week 4 gives your code a face using basic HTML and CSS structure.
But here's the absolute game changer. Your practice cannot just be random. Please, no more generic to-do apps. Since our final boss fight is a real estate AI application, every single thing you practice in Month 1 has to revolve around that exact domain. Learning databases in Week 1? Great! Build tables for users, properties, and bookings. Tackling object-oriented programming in Week 3? Code classes for properties and users. It gives everything you learn an immediate, practical context for your final portfolio piece.
All right, Section 3, Month 2, AI Project Build. This is entering the Forge.
Okay, I know building an artificial intelligence model sounds insanely intimidating, but check this out. We break it down into a highly achievable 5-day sprint using Python libraries like Pandas, NumPy, and Scikit-learn. Day 1, you just grab a real estate data set from Kaggle. Easy. Day 2 is data cleaning, fixing those missing values and formatting. Day 3 is where the magic happens. You train your predictive model, maybe a linear regression or random forest, to guess property prices based on size and location. Day 4, you verify its accuracy. And Day 5, you literally save that trained brain using a library like JobLib or Pickle. Boom, 5 days, and the machine learning core is done.
But listen, an AI model just sitting quietly on your laptop is kinda useless, right? Nobody can access it. So you need a backend. You'll use a framework called FastAPI to build these exact endpoints, basically wrapping your AI model in an API. A post request to /predict triggers your AI, a get request to /recommend pulls similar properties based on a budget. You'll set up basic endpoints to list properties, register users. You can even have ChatGPT help generate the business logic here. Test it all using Postman, and suddenly the brain of your app is wired to the outside world.
Which brings us to Section 4, Month 3, Front-end and Deployment. It is time to polish and ship.
So your backend is super smart now, but it's invisible, just code. In Month 3, we give it a sleek, modern UI using Next.js. You'll build the home, search, and login pages and connect this visual front end to your FastAPI backend using Fetch or Axios so they can actually talk. But here's the kicker, the real flex. You're going to Dockerize the whole thing, throwing your entire system, front end, back end, and database into Docker containers with a Docker Compose file. That proves to hiring managers you don't just write code on your local machine, you actually know how to deploy professional software just like they do in the enterprise world. And here's a reality check many developers miss. Just building the project isn't enough. You have to package it meticulously. Recruiters literally do not have time to read through thousands of lines of your code. You need to market your hard work. Write an immaculate README file. Take stunning screenshots. Record a short, punchy demo video showing your real estate AI in action. Get that GitHub repo absolutely spotless and blast it out in a detailed LinkedIn post. You've got to show the world what you built.
We're almost at the finish line. Section 5, Mastery and Interview Prep, the final trial.
For this final stretch of your 90 days, you are shifting gears from building to relentless, intense testing. You're going to use ChatGPT as your own personal, incredibly strict examiner. Tell it to grill you. Have it ask complex SQL interview questions, test your FastAPI routing, run a mock Docker oral exam, and throw tricky machine learning scenarios your way. This active recall cements absolutely everything you've learned and ensures you won't freeze up when a real live human interviewer asks you these exact same things. And that leads us to the core thesis of this entire explainer: rebuildability. This is the ultimate test. If your laptop completely crashed right now and you lost every line of code, could you rebuild the entire system from a blank screen, relying only on official docs and your own brain? If you can confidently say yes to that, congratulations, you've achieved rebuildability. You aren't just following along anymore, you are engineering solutions. That is the true metric of a job-ready developer.
Finally, Section 6, the job-ready developer. Time to claim your reward. Think about where you might be right now. Scattered, trapped watching videos, unable to build independently. Now compare that to the developer you will become. Holding a full-stack, AI-driven, Dockerized application unlocks incredibly precise, specialized career doors. You're no longer shooting in the dark. You are highly qualified to apply for junior Python developer, backend intern, ML intern, full-stack fresher, or junior data analyst roles. You've got tangible, undeniable proof of your skills across all these domains.
90 days. That's literally all it takes. Just 3 months of unyielding, focused discipline following this exact blueprint. Look, the time is going to pass anyway, right? You can either spend the next 90 days passively zoning out to 100 more tutorials that you'll just forget by tomorrow, or you can commit to this schedule, embrace the struggle of the build, and completely rewrite the trajectory of your professional life.
We've given you the rules, the tech stack, the schedule, and the exact project to build. The map is literally right there in your hands. So I leave you with this final thought. Are you ready to close those tutorial tabs, open up a blank editor, and prove you can rebuild it alone? The 90-day clock starts right now. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy building!